Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to give you guys my initial impressions on this new SBPDW brace. Okay, this is an adjustable brace. Okay, there's a button here that you can use to shorten this or lengthen this. There's 3 positions on this. Let me just look at the box because a lot of letters here. SBPDW, pistol stabilizing brace. I have no idea what the PDW stands for, but so far I'm liking this. It's got 3 positions. The adjustment buttons on the side here, so you kind of have to get used to that. To completely remove this, there's 2 things here. You kind of just pinch them in. So there's 2 buttons that you pinch into if you want to completely remove this for any reason. So this rifle, which has a 7.5-inch barrel, originally came with what I think is one of the first SB braces, so that was fixed. So one of the good things about this is that it was very rigid. Okay, it was a rigid brace that you could basically push against your shoulder, and use the gun the way it's supposed to be used. Okay, not what the government feels like you should be using it, because they kind of change their minds from week to week, but the way it's supposed to be used. Right, pull the rifle into your chest, stabilize it, and you can shoot the gun. The problem with this one is because it was not adjustable, it was a little uncomfortable for me to shoot. Okay, so when I shorten this all the way, this is at exactly the length that the original brace was at, right? Okay, I'll measure it out. That's about 7 inches from the receiver. So when I shortened this up, I found this to be a little too short for me. What I did find is that this gun was ideal for women to shoot. Okay, because of the shorter barrel, women really enjoyed shooting this gun. I have found that AR pistols are ideal for women. Okay, when I give them a full-length AR like this, with the stock, where I normally keep it, what I found is that the gun was a little too front heavy. I would shorten this up for them, which would make it better because now the gun's coming a little bit closer to their body, but there's still a lot of weight out here. So for most women, this is uncomfortable to really practice with, or hold the gun for a long time and do drills. So what I find that women are able to shoot this gun a lot better, do drills for longer. Some women have longer arms, so this was a little bit too short for a lot of women. So I think this is going to be a much better solution for them, where they can actually pull this into their shoulder, stabilize it, and shoot. Some other cool features about this is it does have a mounting point here in the back where you can put a QD mount, right, for a sling. And the mounting point is also removable, right? There's 2 screws here, so if this ever does get worn out, you might be able to buy a replacement without having to, change out the whole brace. It doesn't come with the with this little piece here with the QD sling mount, but I think that's really a really nice feature to have on this, to be able to do this. On the original one, what I had to do is I had to change the end plate on the ARs to have one where I could attach a sling to, So I was able to make it work. When you switch to this one, okay, you do not use the end plate at all. Okay, this, in fact, you don't use an end plate. You don't use the castle nut. This comes with its own castle nut, which is back here somewhere, and you don't use the end plate at all. The only thing that I'm a little apprehensive about is there's no way to stake this down. Okay, you basically, when you install it, you just turn it as tight as possible, and that alone holds this in place. I did put some Loctite on the threads, so it would stay in place. But that's just something that for you guys to be aware of. There's no way for you guys to stake this castle nut, which is back here, onto the gun, so it won't move. And that's an important feature, because if the castle nut starts coming loose and this starts pulling back, the spring in here, because this pushes on the spring that pushes on the takedown pin, and if that spring comes out, then your takedown pin's going to fall out, and then your gun's going to start coming apart. So that's kind of an important thing. That's why I put the Loctite on it. So with the length, let's talk about the overall length for a second. When I have this at its max position, from the receiver back, I've got about 9¼ inches. Okay. Now with this AR here, typically when I use an AR, I don't have it fully extended. I have it a little bit further in. The reason is if I have this fully extended, if I come up, see how that's kind of hitting my shoulder? So I bring this in a little bit further in, so I can come in and I can snap out and get into position. Okay, so I do hold it a little, I do bring the stock in a little bit. So when I bring it in to the position that I normally shoot at, I'm basically at about 10, and from the receiver back I'm at 10¼ inches. Okay, versus 9¼ So I'm only losing an inch with this brace over here. So to me that's a fair compromise. Okay, I'm only losing an inch with this brace. Now one of the things you have to do, you do want to be aware of it. If you do collapse it, right? I'm going to collapse in such a way you can see it. You can see how these rails come up, and they get really, when you fully collapse it, the rails come very close to your safety switch. So you can see how your thumb is going to touch that. So that, that can get in the way, if you fully collapse it. If you go to the second position, which is there, it'll be less in your way. Okay, all right, so that's not an issue, and if you fully extend it, then it's not in the way at all. Okay, now another thing I should mention is I've started using ambidextrous grips, especially on guns that women shoot, and the reason is because a lot of women have problems operating the safety switch with just their thumb. Now usually they can kickstart it down, but they have a harder time putting it back on safe. Okay, so even if they can push it down, they can't come back up. With the ambidextrous switch, I'm finding is that they can put their fingers on both sides and use the two fingers to manipulate the safety, which is a big advantage for women. And they're able to work the gun a lot more easier. They like working the gun because less effort for them. And it's not just women. This could also be some older men. Anybody with I've trained a lot of people that have carpal tunnel in their hands, or arthritis in their hands, and working the safety switch can be an issue for them. So with the ambidextrous safety, they're able to work the gun a lot easier. So something for you guys to be aware of. Most of the people that I train are not young, ready to go into the military, kind of guys. Most of the people that I train are older, or very young, or they have some type of they're old, they have some type of a disability. So that's very normal for the type of people that I typically train. So I have to pick guns that will work for them, and that's why the AR pistol, I have had a great deal of success with this gun. It's a lot of people are able to work with this pretty easy. People with canes, people in wheelchairs, I have found they're able to work with this gun. But it's a little bit shorter, a little easier for them to handle. Now I want to quickly compare some of the other braces that I've had. Like I said, this is the original one that came with it. This had a nice thick piece of rubber over here, so you're able to really pull this into your chest and basically stabilize the gun. But the problem with this is that it was just too short. And I had this one, I think this is the SB3, which was nice because it was adjustable, right? And the cool thing is that the adjustment lever was right here, so this is really easy to adjust on the fly. Problem with this is that this rubber was just too soft. Okay, and what I did is I ended up reinforcing the inside here. I took some rubber and I put it in there, and then I used some lace to kind of tie this together to offer a little bit more rigidity, so people can put this into their shoulder and use the gun the way it's supposed to be used. In terms of the way it's supposed to be used, so that they can maximize their effectiveness with the gun, both in in recreational shooting and also in a self-defense type of situation. Self-defense type of situation, you gotta stop the threat. You gotta be able to hit the bad guy, and by bracing the gun into your shoulder, getting that that dot on the target fast is going to, is going to save your life. So this is important. I teach people the best ways for them to use the gun and to protect themselves, without regard to how the government might be feeling this week, or last week or next week, about shouldering a brace or not shouldering a brace. One other thing I should mention is I've also experimented with the blade. Okay, this is just a thin piece of plastic. Main benefit of this is, yeah, it's a little bit cheaper, but I have found that, especially if you're using like a light shirt, like a t-shirt like this, that does kind of dig into your arm, and I have found that most women definitely prefer the softer, the softer SB braces. Okay, so yeah, this blade definitely does dig into your shoulder, especially if you're like shooting from a bench position or a prone position, where you're trying to get a really tight shot, a really accurate shot, and you're kind of pushing into the gun to try and stabilize it. The recoil is definitely going to dig into your body, dig this blade into your body a little bit more. So far with all the options that I have experimented with, and again, this is my initial impressions, but this SBPDW seems to be the best option. Okay, it's adjustable, it's rigid, right? It's not, it's solid, so that you can actually push this into your shoulder. It's long enough that even somebody my size can comfortably use it. Okay, so I think this is a good option. It is a little bit expensive. I think that I got it for $250. I think at some point it might have been, basically you're gonna find it somewhere between $200 and $250. So it is a little bit expensive. Obviously the other option's a little bit cheaper. It does give you a place to mount the QD mount over here. It's adjustable. One reservation is that you are not able to stake it. Other than using Loctite, you're not able to, really be sure that this is not going to come loose when you don't want it to come loose. So, again, my initial impressions on this. If you guys have any comments, questions, feedback, anything that you want me to keep an eye out for, put it in the comment section. If you're not a member of my channel, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.